This is the early morning of the 15th of December. Clip put up by E-Times. Epstein files uncensored. Trump pictures with model. Her shocking account inside. Watch. Let's see what's in this.
A dramatic new chapter has opened in the long-running Jeffrey Epstein story, one that visually ties a sitting U.S. president to snapshots from the late financier's private world. President Trump's unredacted images from Epstein's estate, recently turned over to the House Oversight Committee, have revealed new photos of President Donald Trump standing alongside groups of adult women, and the internet is buzzing. Democrats released hundreds of thousands of images from Epstein's personal files this week, yet only a handful have been made public so far, including these unredacted Trump photos newly obtained by the New York Post. Some of the photos initially shared by the committee were redacted, with faces of women Trump was pictured with blurred out, fueling speculation online that they could be victims, or worse, underage victims. But the unredacted versions tell a different story. In one black and white image, a younger Trump poses with 6 glamorous women wearing Hawaiian-style leis, and they are identified as adult models from a Hawaiian Tropics suntan lotion event from 1998 at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. One of the women recalled the encounter years later, telling The Telegraph that Trump was very gentlemanly and made sure everyone at the event enjoyed their evening. In another photo, taken aboard what appears to be a private jet, Trump sits with his tie loosened next to a blonde woman who does not resemble any of his known wives. That face, too, was originally redacted. Trump was asked about the newly released images during an Oval Office ceremony honoring veteran ice hockey players, an event that began more than 2 hours later than scheduled. Speaking to reporters, the president dismissed the significance of the photos outright.
There were new Epstein photos released today showing you and also Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon. What were your reaction to those new photos that were released?
Well, I haven't seen it, but everybody knew this man. He was all over Palm Beach. His photos with everybody. There are hundreds and hundreds of people that have photos with him, so that's no big deal. I know nothing about it.
Meanwhile, the legal team representing Epstein's estate said the faces in many photos were blacked out at their request, a standard procedure designed to protect identities, not to imply anything untoward. These Trump photos are part of a much larger collection. More than 95,000 images Epstein's estate has provided to congressional investigators. Of the photos publicly released so far, a dozen or more show former President Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, and Woody Allen in various settings. The release also included strikingly unusual items, from a bowl of novelty condoms bearing a cartoon of Trump's face to portraits of high-profile figures in relaxed social settings. Despite the presence of these powerful names, no evidence of illegal activity has been tied to Trump or other figures in these images, and none of the pictures include identifiable minors. Now, let's talk about reactions, because the names in these photos are doing everything they can to distance themselves. A spokesperson for Bill Clinton says he hasn't been accused of wrongdoing and cut ties with Epstein long before the financier's arrest in 2019. Bill Gates has repeatedly said he regrets ever meeting Epstein, calling the meetings a huge mistake while speaking to CNN's Anderson Cooper in 2021. The president's ties to Epstein are well documented. They moved in the same Palm Beach and Manhattan circles. Yet Trump has never been charged with any Epstein-related crime. His camp insists he did nothing wrong. Yet, emails released just last week complicate the picture. In one of them, Epstein claims Trump spent hours with Virginia Giuffre and that Trump knew about the girls. What remains unclear is when and where each of these photos was taken, or who originally captured them. The committee has released few captions, and many images lack context. Without that context, critics argue photos of social interactions, even between a future president and wealthy associates, are being framed to imply something more than what may be there. Supporters of the release counter that these images open the door to greater transparency about Epstein's extensive network and why it matters now. It's worth noting that Epstein's relationships with high-profile figures have been documented for years, but this is the first time such a massive trove of private photographs is being scrutinized publicly. House Democrats on the Oversight Committee say the photos, even in this limited release, show the breadth of Epstein's connections and are part of a broader push for transparency in the federal investigation. Top Democrat Robert Garcia has called on the Department of Justice to release all Epstein-related files, saying the American people deserve full access to the evidence. Republicans, meanwhile, have accused Democrats of selecting and redacting images to create a misleading narrative, a claim the White House echoes. And as these images spread, another name is resurfacing: Michael Wolff. The author, known for his explosive, controversial reporting on Trump, has been publicly digging into the Trump-Epstein connection for months. Wolff claims there are undisclosed stories, uncomfortable intersections, and moments between Trump and Epstein that the public has never heard in full. And now, with these new photos out, his previous claims are being examined all over again. We'll leave you with Michael Wolff's own words, because he believes the story of Trump and Epstein isn't just about pictures, it's about proximity, silence, and power.
So why is Trump calling now for the release of the Epstein files? What's that about? We're in phase 2 of the cover-up. The Democrats released a handful of Epstein emails, and the Republicans, in what the White House calls its flood the zone strategy, then released tens of thousands of Epstein emails. The effect of this is that everybody is implicated, and Trump gets to say, it's everybody else, not me. And in fact, he's launched now investigations against the Democrats in the emails. But let's go back to phase 1 of the cover-up. That's been the long delay, the intransigence in releasing the Epstein files. Now remember, one of Donald Trump's obsessions, longtime obsessions, is why Nixon didn't burn the tapes. He comes back to that again and again, always talking about why that dummy didn't get rid of the evidence when he could have. Just do it, just burn them. He continues to say, this is a fundamental Trump refrain, going right squarely to how he considers government should function. So the idea that he has remade the Justice Department in the past 9 months, and that they would not have been focused on these tapes and on their central responsibility, which is to protect Donald Trump, is ridiculous. But let's go to phase 3 of the cover-up. The White House is in effect the curator of the Epstein files. When Congress gets them, and that's by no means certain because it still has to pass the Senate, what they will get is a redacted mess. They will get a mess. A mess, however, that focuses on all of the people Trump wants to focus on, and not on himself, of course. And he will be able to claim, and he certainly will, that the Epstein files vindicate him.
A political storm is building tonight after a new batch of Jeffrey Epstein photos was released by House Democrats, and U.S. President Donald Trump is now responding. The newly published images show Trump at social events and aboard a private jet linked to Epstein, reigniting scrutiny around the disgraced financier's powerful social circle. The black and white photos were posted online by Democratic members of the House of Representatives. In one image, Trump is seen with his shirt partially unbuttoned, posing with his arm around 5 unidentified women.
All right, folks. So we're supposed to get the files released on the 19th. And Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and cross-eyed Kash Patel, they've had countless months to go through and redact what needs to be redacted to protect that dope that's playing presidents. What needs to happen is they need to take those 1,000 FBI agents that were assembled to go through all those files to look for any criminality of Donald and get rid of it. That's what needs to happen. And I think the whole thing is a big dog and pony show. Trump's a pedophile. He's made it very clear that if his daughter wasn't his daughter, he'd screw her. What kind of father talks that way about his daughter? Guy's a pig. And he was with Giuffre for a number of hours at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. What do you think he was doing with her? Think he was coaching her on how to model? I don't think so. I'll attach the link. There's more for you to listen to. Pass it along. And thanks for listening. I'm looking forward to the 19th. Aren't you?